one time I remember we had two actresses
For
to
Logan
play
Browning's character, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you
And there
coming
were
and asking.
two great actresses, and Michelle and I were like, we don't know they're
Vanessa,
so
Vanessa.
great. Vanessa, we're like, they're so great. I'm like, who does Daniel want to date?
Yeah, I remember.
I do remember that.
Fun fact: I didn't pick Logan. I
Oh.
didn't pick Logan. I picked this other girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
so she must not have been available. But
No, I think you were like, wait, look at it again. Look at it again.
is that true?
Wow.
I think slightly-
Logan was great.
But-
and then also he had a huge crush on Logan, so it worked out.
Logan was great.
I think I
thought
knew
that
the other girl, so it was a little. I think it was Kashawn Sims. I'll go ahead and just plug her real quick. I think I kind of knew her, and then I was like,
you're like, oh, the girl I know.
I'm kind of just picking her because I know her. Oh god.
okay. The story in my head was that you came in and it worked out great. But
Yeah.
so
It did work out great.
It did work out. He had,
It did work out great. Yeah.
So I also want to ask, like, our set had such a magical environment. What that comes down to is the top. It's always like we credit you guys with all of it. Is like that's
Mostly
how
Michelle,
sets. I mean, that's how sets go. That's how jobs go. Is whoever's at the top is going to kind of trickle down the energy of what the environment is. And our set was so lovely. Did you guys have to like consciously cultivate that? Did it just happen because it was such a family environment, like with your kids being on set and you guys? I mean, did you have to make it happen? Did you have to kick drama out? Because our set was like lovely,
we
man.
did kick drama
Yes.
out every now and then.
I think people got asked back who were genuinely nice people. It's that classic thing. Like, it was a nice crew. It was a nice cast. Like, everyone really made an effort to, be inclusive. And also, we tried to create an environment where, you guys are there for so many hours a day. You're not in a regular school. So one of the things that we talked about was just trying to create kind of a fun school environment so that you get that a little bit, because you're kids. You guys are kids.
You
so
guys are kids. And I think that I just sort of had an idea that if we're having fun, then that'll go on the set. Even though we're doing a scene that maybe isn't so fun, or it's something that maybe is a little bit more dramatic or emotional. But I think if
Not too
the
much of
crew,
that.
Yeah, I was gonna say-
no,
Not
we
too
didn't
much
have a
of
lot.
that,
No, but
yes.
I'm saying, but if the crew's having fun and the cast's having fun, I think that eventually comes out on camera. And so I think that did work.
yeah.
That is beautiful.
And it was very
And
important.
it's true.
It was really important for the both of us to make sure that you guys had fun, because you really did. You gave your childhoods to that show. Did we shoot for 3 years? 4
years.
years?
3 years.
3 years. And right in the middle of that time.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to make
So
sure we
worth
did
it.
not.
Oh, yeah.
My best.
But
I
make
mean-
sure that was in time.
We still had a childhood because the environment on the
Yeah.
show
Because of it.
was
We were-
like
It
being at
amplified our
school.
childhood for sure. Yeah.
Because we had a big
Amplified
cast
it.
of kids, like
We did,
we were
yeah.
hanging out and playing, like we were working our asses
Yeah, but
off.
the social
but
aspect
the social
was-
aspect was there, and the kid aspect was there, the play.
Yeah,
and I
and that
think
was really
that's
important.
Yeah, I think that's really
I think
lasted.
we had sometimes we did airplane contests, right? And didn't we do like
Yeah.
Jersey
Oh my gosh,
days?
I have
and-
a photo
Yeah.
of you with your paper airplane and you wrote fuck
No.
off
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah.
it.
I've seen that picture.
Right? He's so appropriate but also obscene sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what the
that's-
fuck
that's
You
is
guys,
this?
you guys
Slight
laughed
difference.
every time I swore. You
Yo,
guys
it was,
laughed.
oh man.
Yeah.
and
thing ever.
every time you knocked a plate of food out of my hands.
Oh yeah. That was How does it taste on the floor?
I remember one time you guys were in school, and I just opened the door. I just gave Lindsay a huge like this, and I closed the door. And apparently, like your teacher was just like,
What just happened? yes. Okay. Yes. No. That was a dynamic that would happen often. So Scott Fellows is our creator of the show, executive producer, boss on set of everybody. We have our teacher and welfare worker. Our studio
out
teacher
for us.
is also there to make sure the child labor laws are good.
Yeah.
Make sure we're being treated well
That's
as
correct.
children,
That's
right?
correct. Yeah.
And he's a true educator. He's such a sweet man, Scott Plimpton.
Yeah, Scott was great.
Scott was
But
incredible.
Scott would just like basically live in his hole. Like he would live in the schoolroom. And
Is that what he sounds like?
but Scott would be in there, and we love Scott. But then Scott Fellows, it wasn't just that. Many times you would just like bust in the schoolroom, like knock shit off my desk.
And take off. Yeah.
I would clean. I would your whole desk, and I
Yes.
just clean.
and then go about your day. And Scott Plimpton, our welfare worker, our teacher, is just like, what is happening?
He has no power to control any of it.
That's the boss on set? Like, are you being abused? And it's like,
Do you remember?
we're cracking up.
So there was a punishment for us swearing in the schoolroom, and it was eating a dog treat. And you just come in and just beast a fucking handful at one point.
Well, there just became it wasn't even like a punishment after a while. Like, it just became this game. Scott Plimpton got these dog treats that like were labeled as like there were different flavors. So then we all were like trying the different
dog
flavors.
treats,
And
They were milk bones. They were purple
They're
milk bones.
Yeah.
They all taste
kind
the
of the
same,
most
right?
They all taste the
disgusting.
same.
It was so gross.
Yeah, everyone was kind of like fucking around with them, like, ooh, I don't know. And you come in and just take a handful of them and go, what?
Like
It's
a
not so bad.
Yeah. If any of you at home listening have not eaten milk bone, it's like eating cardboard. If
It
you
tastes
ever
like
tried-
nothing.
That
It
is
tastes like nothing. It
nothing.
tastes like cardboard.
So try
It's
some
like
dog treats,
crunchy.
guys. Try some dog treats.
But I do remember that because I came into the room just to check or do something stupid. And I thought you said you handed me a box. You're like, Scott, we're eating dog treats.
Of course I
Something
did.
like
And so you put it out there, but I have to say, like, I guess I did grab a handful.
You did.
But in a very split second, I'm like, I gotta eat these fucking dog treats because if I don't, these kids are gonna think I'm a,
Yeah.
they're gonna like, oh,
Think you're-
not think you should be like,
Yeah, we're gonna think
had
less
I,
of
had
you.
had I just
He's weak.
chowed them. If I was like, oh no, those are gross. My cool would have been like,
It's true.
And it
It's
would have been
true.
subconscious
Because-
it's
because
totally
you
true.
did it,
Because
and
when
we
you
were
did
like,
that, it was like
But the other thing is though, I'm like, okay, if they're eating dog treats, they can't be that bad.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
I think if you were saying like, if hey, Scott, we're eating dog shit. Yeah, I'm gonna pass.
Not my cup of tea.
We'll leave
Yeah.
that on you guys.
Yeah.
You guys have that
Yeah.
one.
But Scott was terrific, and he also knew that was a real impressionable, important time for you to not just get your education, but to really be enjoying that time. I think I listened on a podcast. You guys were talking about people that get let go. I remember a wardrobe person upset you, and then we fired her.
Wow.
Yeah. It was between Alicia, our original wardrobe person, got married and had kids, so she had to leave, and she was fantastic. And then we brought somebody in that had like a great. We met a couple of people, and they both had great resumes. This one had just more experience, and just really was great in the interview. And then she came in, and she just was a bit, like draconian, just very, and like you were like all of a sudden not coming out like smiling, and I'm like, what's going on here? And then one of you just said like we hate this person.
We definitely
I don't
had
remember
And I
that.
went to Nickelodeon.
we definitely had that with our first studio teacher, on the
yeah.
first season. We were like,
I
yo,
remember
we
her.
hate this
Yeah.
person.
Yeah,
Like, she's so mean.
So getting back to what Michelle was saying is that, if there was drama, we would find a way to basically bring somebody in that
as quickly and quietly.
Yeah.
as
Well,
well.
especially
Like, it
in
was
that department.
Yeah.
Someone's dressing you.
all
And
up-
especially-
all up on
yeah,
you.
and you're
I don't,
there,
I
you-
don't remember that. But
yeah.
Yeah, you guys had
She
a way of
blocked it out.
Yeah, it's
taking
gone.
care of us. That's what I remember. Like if there was
Yeah.
something that was really going to become an issue for one of the kids, whoever it was, I know like we could go to you or a mom could go to you and you guys would handle it. Like however it needed to be handled.
Yeah. I think there were some discussions of the parents if you see that something else was was a little wonky, we'd sort of get to the bottom of it because we loved you guys.
You just
What's not to love?
consistently
Right back at
like showed up for us and like loved on us, and it just shows. It still shows.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys feel like
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, for real.
You
Dude, I
really
gotta-
do.
I gotta get back to those.
You really
Rose Bowls.
do.
Like, let's go.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
It's always so early.
It is.
How
Yeah.
funny that I'm running into your guys' son at parties
I
these
know.
days.
That is so weird.
I'm ending up drunk with Charlie, and it's wild. Yo, it's wild.
Well, Charlie's
He's an
26
adult.
now.
He's a
I
fucking adult.
understand, but that
Yeah.
that just doesn't seem right.
It's great.
Yeah, and
we
you
laugh.
guys are in the same circles.
It's
so
crazy.
interesting.
We have like one circle that we overlap in,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. But before we wrap up, I also want to ask, what's it like to have created a boy band that's still out there touring the world to this day?
I created a boy.
Scott Fellows created Big Time Rush.
Wow.
I didn't know you were
Boy
such
band
a
was dead,
musical.
but no, it wasn't.
I didn't know you were such a boy band man.
Well,
But they're still out there. They're touring.
Incredible.
They are. They're touring. It's really neat. I'll just tell one story. But Michelle says this is that when we cast that show, I told the guys like, hey, we're gonna just kind of motivate them, get really excited because it's an enormous amount of work, and you guys know more than anybody the amount of work it is. And so I said, we're gonna sell out Madison Square Garden. Like that. We're gonna do that. And they were like, pumped up. but we didn't like during.
I thought this was gonna be like.
Dang.
No, the guys did like 3 tours, I think, during the show, but we never did like mass. That's what because Bieber was selling those out and Miley was selling those out, and I just was like, I was always kind of bummed that we didn't do that thing that we told them they were going to do. And then last summer they sold out Madison Square Garden.
There you go.
I always joked with the guys. I'm like, hey, it took 10 years.
Like I told you.
That's amazing. though.
So are there any-
and Kendall was a friend of mine when you cast him. Kendall was like one of my teenage homies, and then Carlos I knew, Logan I knew.
Yep.
What's up, guys? Thank you for watching this episode of Ned's Declassified Podcast Survival Guide. If you can't get enough of us, we got clips over on the PodCo YouTube channel. You can check them out there. And if you really can't get enough of us, we got a ton of extra content and live streams and live Q&As on Patreon. And that helps support this podcast and help us keep going and make it possible. So we love you for that. Check out the links in the description, and thanks for tuning in.